During the American Civil War, inventors and military personnel experimented with unconventional weapons, including firearms, explosives, and even century warfare. Some of these weapons were ahead of their time, while others were impractical or even dangerous to their users. This video will uncover 10 of the strangest weapons used during the Civil War, from bulletproof steam-powered war wagons to rifle-mounted grenade. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Wynon's steam gun was attributed to industrialist Ross Wynon, the inventor and builder of the City Council. It was believed to have an effective range of about 100 yards and was demonstrated by Charles S. Dickinson, who traveled to Baltimore, Maryland, to demonstrate his invention. As unrest spread throughout Baltimore, concerns arose about Dickinson's possible military response. However, federal troops intercepted the weapon, possibly seeing it as a tool for city defense. Once stability returned, the gun was eventually seized and transported to Massachusetts, where it was put on display by the U.S. government. In this uncertain atmosphere, local law enforcement took possession. The coffee mill gun, also known as the Devil's Coffee Mill or coffee grinder gun, was a hand-cranked firearm that could fire 58 caliber cartridges at an estimated 120 rounds per minute. It was an innovative attempt at rapid-fire technology during the Civil War and was officially known as the Agar Minute. Its design featured a single barrel and a hopper-fed ammunition system, making it one of the earliest at the time. In 1861, President Abraham Lincoln witnessed a demonstration of the weapon and was fascinated by its potential. His curiosity was presumably based on its ability to. The Agar gun provided sustained fire, which was a novel concept at the time. Field commanders were used to more controlled and strategic use. However, practical battlefield experience revealed flaws. One of the main issues with the Agar gun was its high ammunition. The U.S. War Department acquired 60 units for military use. The Agar gun was rarely utilized in active warfare due to technical issues, frequent jamming, and logistical concerns. Additionally, its single-barrel design overheated quickly, rendering it unreliable in long-term use. The concept of armored trains did not revolutionize warfare during the Civil War, but it laid the groundwork for future military innovations. The use of armored trains demonstrated the importance of mobility in battlefield defense, influencing the development of prominent military vehicles in later conflicts, including the Russian Civil War and both World Wars, where improved designs and firepower made them more effective. These Civil War-era experiments led to the development of modern armored military vehicles that would become crucial in the 20th century. Short's Greek fire, a mysterious incendiary weapon, inspired military experiments during the American Civil War. During an 1864 Confederate plot to set fire to New York City using specially designed incendiary weapons, a substance from the ancient word sour brief was revived through its devices. The plan failed due to a lack of knowledge among saboteurs, resulting in the failure to ignite and sustain fires. Short personally demonstrated his invention to President Abraham Lincoln, but Lincoln was more interested in military outcomes. Earlier in the war, Levi Short, an inventor from Philadelphia, had attempted to introduce a rocket. Despite a lukewarm reception, U.S. Rear Admiral David Porter saw potential in the concept. He hoped that the incendiary projectiles would be effective in the Union Navy's campaign against Vicksburg, a critical Confederate stronghold. When the rockets were tested, they performed as expected. While some portions of Vicksburg caught fire upon impact, the flames only burned for about 7 minutes, causing minimal damage and not altering the course of the war. Although Short's Greek fire rockets did not revolutionize warfare, They were part of a Civil War-era trend of experimenting with new military weapons, explosives, and incendiary devices, such as double-barreled cannons. However, the fleeting nature of the fires meant that the weapon had little impact on Union technologies. In 1862, after witnessing the disappointing results, Admiral Porter dismissed the weapon. Georgia used a double-barrel cannon to disrupt enemy formations and cause significant damage. The concept was based on a type of ammunition known as chain shot, which consisted of two cannonballs connected by a nail. The gun's success relied on both barrels firing simultaneously and maintaining their trajectory while spinning through the air. The barrels did not fire at the same time, causing the chain shot to deviate off course. In other cases, the chain snapped mid-air, making the weapon unreliable and unsuitable for combat. Despite its failures, the city of Athens, Georgia, kept the cannon as part of its defensive preparations during the Civil War. Although it was never used in battle, it remains a notable piece of military experimentation. Today, it is a well-known landmark in Athens, serving as a reminder of the inventiveness and limitations of 19th century wartime engineering. The notion of a double-barrel cannon is not new in military history. During the 17th century English Civil War, the Earl of Northampton used a similar artillery piece known as the Elizabeth Henry. This earlier version, like the Athens prototype, was designed to fire chain shot, with deadly results. The double-barrel cannon was created by the American gun team to test whether it could become a widely used weapon, but it still faced significant mechanical challenges. While technological advancements enabled more precise engineering, the fundamental problem remained. Firing two barrels in perfect synchronization proved difficult. The experiment ultimately led to the development of self-propelled underwater missiles, such as the Cole torpedo, developed in 1864 by Thomas Courtney. While the idea was intriguing, it was too impractical. During the 19th century, the term torpedo referred to a wide range of explosive devices, including the Confederate. The Confederate Secret Services aimed to disrupt Union supply lines by secretly introducing explosives into coal stockpiles. The goal was simple but effective. If the fake coal was unknowingly shoveled into a Union steam-powered vehicle, it would detonate, causing collateral damage. At least 2 Union ships were confirmed to have been targeted by deceptive explosives. Records suggest that the tactic may have been used against land-based facilities as well. The Springfield Armory was sabotaged as part of an asymmetrical warfare strategy. The Confederacy attempted to use coal torpedoes disguised as coal alongside their fuel supply, but this failed compared to direct military engagements. Interestingly, the use of coal torpedoes did not end with the Civil War. The concept resurfaced decades later during World War II, when a modernized version was developed using plastic explosives. Some ship owners adapted the technique for insurance fraud, intentionally destroying instead of using gunpowder. In the 1850s, T.P. Porter patented the Porter turret rifle, a multi-chamber design that rotated to align the next chamber with the barrel. The cylinder was wheel-shaped and held 9 rounds of .48 caliber ammunition, with each round rotating to increase firepower. The circular magazine meant that for every bullet fired towards an opponent, another chamber was pointed in the opposite direction, often directly at the shooter or bystanders. This unsettling design made many users hesitant to adopt the weapon. The potential for accidental discharge posed serious risks, leading to the turret's failure as a mainstream firearm. Despite their shortcomings, variations of the turret still found their way onto Civil War battlefields, carried by individual soldiers looking for alternatives to traditional firearms. Some models were designed to hold up to 30 rounds with gunpowder and percussion caps preloaded, eliminating the need for constant reloading. However, high-capacity designs have additional risks. If a fire or stray spark ignites the entire magazine, the shooter may experience a catastrophic explosion. Due to these risks, many military and firearm aficionados choose. The reliability and safety of conventional revolvers and rifles were widely accepted, but flaws highlighted the importance of safe and practical engineering in the evolution of repeating firearms. The design singularity foreshadowed later development. USS Alligator, 1862. In 1862, the U.S. Navy introduced the USS Alligator, a 47-foot vessel designed by French inventor Brutus de Villeroy. Despite the government's refusal to support the development of the submarine, de Villeroy's innovative design drew interest from the United States. The Alligator was equipped with advanced features for its time, including an air-purifying system and a lockout chamber, similar to Confederate ironclad ships. The U.S. Navy saw the Alligator as a means of gaining an advantage in naval warfare, particularly during the Civil War, where technological innovations allowed divers to exit the submarine while it remained submerged. The submarine was initially tested on the Appomattox River, but the mission was unsuccessful. The USS Alligator was then transported to the Washington Navy Yard, where the water was not deep enough for proper submergence. The submarine was then fitted with a screw propeller to improve maneuverability. After these adjustments, the submarine was sent to Charleston, South Carolina for further missions. The USS Alligator was towed during a powerful storm off the coast of Cape Hatteras, a notorious location for shipwrecks. The Alligator eventually sank to the bottom of the graveyard of ships, marking the end of an early experiment in underwater warfare. Although the submarine did not achieve its intended goals, the concept of submarine warfare demonstrates the bold ambitions of 19th century military engineers and their willingness to evolve and play a significant role in later conflicts. The Alligator's story is an experiment with new technologies to gain a strategic advantage. The pike, a weapon with the pike, a two-handed infantry tool made of a wooden shaft, was thought to be obsolete in the era of gunpowder and firearms. However, during the American Civil War, especially in the Confederacy, the pike experienced a brief resurgence due to supply issues. The Confederacy used pikes ranging from 6 to 10 feet in length with a sharp steel point at the end, but faced significant manufacturing challenges. During this time, most pikes were traditional in design, but some were modified with specialized blades for specific purposes. In 1862, Georgia's Governor Joe Brown ordered a total of 10,000 pikes to arm local military troops, including blade variations. Modifications to Joe Brown's pikes were likely intended to increase their effectiveness or intimidation during the war. The practicality of these changes is still debated. The South Carolina Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum houses an example of one of these pikes, but it was not popular among soldiers. The Confederate soldiers who were issued these pikes faced the reality of modern firearms. Despite the fact that Union troops were often armed with rifles, Confederate forces had a significant technological advantage, resulting in a variety of strange and sometimes bizarre weapons. However, the pike quickly proved to be a less effective weapon during the Civil War. These inventions were born out of necessity, driven by fierce and unrelenting battles from the past. Don't miss out on the unusual Civil War weapons. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories about this turbulent period in American history. If you enjoyed learning about these, hit the subscribe button and join us for more captivating content.